Hi, my name is Nidhi Vadhera. I'm a sales coach, author, and business consultant. And if you are a beginner in sales, then today I'm going to share with you 6 tips that you would ever need to walk strong in your sales journey. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it right now. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get a notification whenever I post a new video. Now, you like it or not, but for every organization, sales is their most important division. In fact, their favorite. After all, this is the department that brings in the customers and the money. If you are in sales, I'm sure your colleagues are envious of the praise and attention you get. But I know that you have your own set of pressures and headaches to deal with. And if you are a beginner in sales, oh my God, I can only imagine the madness you must be going through. But if your vision is to be more impactful in sales meetings, you want to close more deals, you want to be ahead of your numbers, here are the 6 tips that will help you build a strong foundation for your sales success. So without further ado, let's get started. In your sales journey, you are going to come across 2 kinds of leads. Those who ask questions and those who do not ask questions. Now let's safely assume that the majority of customers you meet are the ones who ask you questions, because those who do not ask any questions are mostly the ones who are not interested in your offering. As a salesperson, it is your responsibility to ace the customer questions, meaning answer the customer questions with relevant information. Therefore, the first tip I have for you is to understand your product or service like the back of your hand, okay? It should be so clear to you. Take your induction programs and your training programs very seriously, guys. Go through all the product demos, the information, the videos, support material that is available to you. Your company invests a lot of money in training you because of a reason. So you must utilize that time to understand how the offering, something that you are selling, is linked to what the customers want. For example, let's assume that you are selling a pack of chips. So you must understand what kind of problem your pack of chips is going to solve for the customer. How is it different from the other brands that are available in the market? Can this packet be customized as per your customer requirement, or what kind of pricing, very important, can be worked on for larger orders? Your initial days in sales can be overwhelming, I truly get that, but it is perfectly okay not to remember everything at the first go. Moreover, if you ask me, your customers have no interest in the technicalities of what you offer. They are only interested to know how you can help them solve a problem and make their life easy. So your aim should be to develop a thorough understanding of what you are selling, because that is going to make you feel confident, number one, and also you will be able to deliver a lot of value to your customers. A lot of salespeople have an annoying misconception that the more they talk, the better they'll be able to sell. Truth is that your customers are not interested in knowing how great you are, how great your company is. They are simply interested to know how you can help them solve a problem and make their life easy. And this is something that I've told you earlier also. Therefore, the second tip I have for you is to listen to them so attentively that you're able to understand your customer's pain point. The entire sales process is about identifying your client's problem and understanding how you can provide a solution and make their life easy. So whenever you get a chance to interact with your customers, maybe over the phone, if you're in telesales or face-to-face, do not hesitate in asking them questions to understand them better. Try to understand their business better, their concerns better, their challenges, their budget constraints. It could be anything. For example, let's assume that you are selling real estate. Now, it is critical for you to understand which of the client problem you are going to solve through your real estate solution. Is it long-term investment? Is it safety for the family? Is it upgrading their lifestyle, or what is it? And once you briefly share who you are and what you do, let your customers do most of the talking while you listen attentively. Whatever solution you propose must also be centered around your buyer's pain point, which is going to be different from buyer to buyer. So sales conversation, in my opinion, work the best when the buyers have a feeling that you're able to understand their problem and your true intention is to help them out. Now let's assume that you have trained yourself to listen to your customers actively and you have identified their real pain point. Now your customers expect something. They expect you to answer their questions, and your responsibility as a sales resource is to give them answers that reflect both knowledge as well as competency. And that brings me to the third important tip, which is to prepare for the sales calls. Of course, there'll be days when your prospects would call you unannounced and you won't have enough time to prepare. Yes, there are days like that. But in such cases, you have to keep the conversation open-ended, okay? And see where it goes. But this cannot become your routine if you want to convert your leads into paying customers. So have your answers ready for the expected questions. Before you meet your customers, in your mind, you should have a very clear idea about the goal of your call. What is it that you need to find out during the call? What are your own products or services strengths as well as weakness? business, and if there is a second meeting, where was the last conversation concluded and what is it that you spoke in the last meeting, etc., etc. It's unfortunate, but very few salespeople actually spend time in researching their prospect and preparing for the sales call. No wonder they come across as unprofessional. Now you, my friend, you are just getting started on your sales journey, so please do not make that mistake. Prepare for the call, get the necessary information and bring value to the table. If you make preparation as a part of your sales journey, you will actually see your results skyrocketing. It is understandable that as a beginner in sales, you don't have answers to all the questions. I know it because I have been there. But there is always an option to surround yourself with people who have the answer. What can be better than this? So the fourth tip I have for you is to speak to your seniors, ask them questions and tap into their wisdom. Be hungry to learn and to add to your knowledge base. When you are inquisitive, you automatically pace up your learning curve. And what can be better than that? You tell me this. Yes, there are a few things that you learn only with experience and only over a period of time, but you can certainly amass a lot of knowledge by being with the right company of people. My suggestion is to spend time with people who have been in the field longer than you or who understand the game better. It could be either of the two. If you do this, you will definitely be able to handle larger set of questions without being uncomfortable, and that is important. Now, if you hesitate in asking questions, that's the worst you can do to your sales growth. So you must get over all the complexes that you may have in your head and start being open to learning from your seniors. Cross your heart and tell me something. Do you really believe in the product or service that you are selling? I mean, do you believe that it can actually add value to your customers? Now, if your answer is a no, then there is a problem. Believe it or not, but your customers, they get a feeling when you're unsure about what you're selling, and that is going to cost you heavily in business. So my first tip for you is to figure out whether you can sell your own product or service to yourself. When you don't have a doubt about what you're selling, your confidence level is different altogether, and that makes a huge impact to your closing rate. So before you start meeting your customers, have a frank, open-hearted conversation with yourself about what you are selling. If you're able to convince yourself to buy what you're selling, if you can see value for yourself, there is no doubt that your customers will not see value in the product or service that you are selling. Last but not the least, you may have the best product in the market, you may be super impactful in your meetings, but if you do not touch base with your prospects at the right time, the lead will simply slip through your fingers. I know with the technological advancement, a lot of things are changing, the way we do business is changing, but one thing which will never go out of fashion in sales is follow-up. So my last tip for all you beginners in sales is follow up, follow up, follow up. Keep your customers engaged by sending careful messages to them, okay? Like trying to connect message, which is typically a cold call follow-up, or a pleasure meeting you kind of a follow-up message that is done right after you meet your client, or writing to follow up on the last conversation, which is done to maintain the connection with your customer. So do not hesitate in reaching out to your customers and following up with them. Statistically speaking, 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups or more. So please be prepared to follow up, follow up, follow up. So these are the 6 tips I have for all you sales beginners. Now in your sales journey, you will learn that sales and rejection, they go hand in hand. And as a beginner, it is not going to be easy for you to face that rejection. Sometimes your competitors and sometimes your own colleagues will close a piece of business that you may have really worked hard for. It's a part of the journey. Sometimes the temperaments won't match. Sometimes you would struggle to maintain your own motivation level. So my bonus tip for you is please do not take anything personally. Focus on what you can control and keep moving forward. That's the way to go about it. So this brings us to the end of today's episode. If you have learned something new, do not forget to give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family who are just getting started on their sales journey. And if you are interested to learn more about business and sales, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. Now, a lot of you have asked me about finding investors for the startup. I will try and cover some part of it in the next video, so stay tuned. Until then, love your numbers, work hard for your dreams, and remember, it won't work till you start having fun. See you soon.